Welcome to day 4 of Mission I Can. So today was, I don't know, it was one of those days like I got in my head about doing jujitsu again, all right? For y'all that don't know, I did martial arts for a long time. I've done taekwondo, boxed for a little bit, did Korean taekwondo when I was in the military over in Korea, and then most recently, but still a while back, I did jujitsu right here in St. Louis for quite a while. Gracie Humada, St. Louis, J.W. Wright. There's a shout out. But I just remember thinking back to today. I was thinking back to when I first started, and the way jujitsu works is you're going to get tapped out a whole lot. If you're y'all that don't know, jujitsu is like it's a UFC stuff, right? Like when you see them on the ground and they're rolling around. That's one of the styles that a lot of the UFC fighters use. And they're trying to tap each other out, the rear naked choke, the arm bars, stuff like that. But I remember when I first started, man, you get tapped out. Hundreds. I think I got tapped out 1,000 times before I ever won, per se, tapped somebody else out. That's the whole end game goal, is to tap somebody out. You put them in enough pain that they tap, right? And I just remember going through that and thinking, why don't I just quit? Why didn't I just stop? And it was because I know eventually I'm going to tap somebody out. Like I was too determined. I was gonna tap somebody out. And along that journey, I mean, I'm 200 pounds. I'm a pretty strong guy. I've been physical my whole life. And I was going up against girls. And no knock against girls, because I know some badass women. I know some totally badass women. But women that were, 120 pounds, 110 pounds, tapping me out. I know there was a guy that, like, when he walked in the gym, and I can't think of his name, but his face is in my head. This guy was like 140 pounds. This skinny, little bitty arms, just little skinny guy. And he was a purple belt. And I was white belt, brand new, pretty new. I'd probably only been doing it a month or two. And I was like, oh, I'm tapping this guy out. Like I was so confident, like I'm tapping this guy out. And he just totally made me look crazy. Yeah. Like, no, I wasn't going to tap him out. And to this day, I can't remember the guy's name, but I remember his face. I'm pretty sure I never tapped him out. But I didn't stop. But I didn't give up. Even though I was getting my butt beat day after day after training, and I'd learn the moves and I'd practice them, and and I would visualize it, and okay, I'm going to do this. And then boom, I'd lose. Dang it. And I get tapped out. Dang it. And I did it again. Because I was so determined that I am going to do this. I am going to tap somebody out. And then it happened, right? So guys, when you're on this I can journey, it's going to happen. Like whatever you're whatever you're striving for, whatever you're going after, it was the accumulation of me getting tapped out and learning, and you're not going to start out learning, oh, what did I do wrong? Most times you're not. You're going to be so concentrated on what I can do that you don't think about what did I do wrong? You don't look at the lessons. You look at, more of what you think you can do. All right, which is great, but at the same time, you got to take the lessons from what you didn't do right, from what you messed up, from what went wrong, right? And not make it not make it an end point like, well, I lost again, so I'm just going to quit. Like, this just ain't for me. No, for me, it was learning those lessons and then kept moving forward and going, okay, make sure that, I remember I was getting arm barred a lot, right? See, guys, as I'm sitting here talking about it, I keep zoning off, remembering back to me getting just beat. you know. And I remember because I was stronger, so I like to, and I would try to power people. Well, in doing that, my arms were always extended, and I would get armbarred a lot. And I remember now going, all right, keep your arms in, like use your strength, but try to pull them closer to you instead of so far away, because that just leaves you open to arm bars. All right. And so that was a lesson. And I remember as I kept my arms in tighter, I stopped getting arm barred as much. But that was one of the lessons. All right. And actually, the first person I do remember, the first person I ever tapped out was a blue belt. I think I was a white. Well, I was a white belt, but, and it was, I still kind of wonder if they let me just for my ego, but, I armbarred this gentleman. But guys, it's all about learning and understanding that in that process of learning, you're going to lose a lot. And that's okay. It's what are you taking away from those losses, from those didn't go right, from just the lessons. And if you look at it that way as lessons, instead of just, I know so many people that it didn't go the way they thought it would, or it didn't go the way they wanted. And so they just, well, I can't. Well, I give up. Well, I'm done. And it's like, if you'd have just went a little bit further, if you'd have just took that lesson and implemented it to become more, I think we've all probably seen, if you're watching my content, you've probably seen this. I try to be a motivational guy, but it's the picture or meme or whatever it is of the guy, and he's digging, he's underground, and he gives up, and you see him like walking back this way, right? And there's a guy under him digging, right, who keeps digging, and the gold, the treasure is like right here. Well, this guy gave up, and all he needed was a couple of more swipes, and he'd have found the gold. Instead, he gave up and said, well, I guess it's just not here, and he walked off. Whereas this guy kept digging, boom, finds the gold. Guys, you never know how close you are to getting to that treasure. Right? How close you are to, it might just be 1 or 2 more days, 1 or 2 more swipes, one person. Right? You go out and you keep meeting people and you keep doing that uncomfortable stuff. Maybe oh man, I don't really like doing this that much, but I know it's going to lead me to this, and that's what I want. So you do the uncomfortable thing. You do what sucks, because the end goal, what you're really wanting to achieve, means more than the suck. Right? It means more than failure, than stopping. So guys, today on day 4, I say go out. If you get tapped out, again today, keep going. All right? Because tomorrow, you just might get that first arm bar.